to they're about to be reacting to the COVID fraud era. Now, I ain't gonna lie, bro. If I was old enough during the time, I probably would have, you know what I'm saying? I probably would have partaked. But I was in high school and I was a minor, so I couldn't do anything with that. But, bro, people was definitely getting back during that time. You know, a lot of people that didn't have money had money for sure. But guess what? A lot of people are getting, like, the IRS is basically catching up to them, saying we want that money back because the PPP loan, again, the PPP loan means you got to pay it back eventually, you know. But no, let's see what they're talking about.
Crazy to think that in 2019, people that lived in one-bedroom apartments were living in mansions with Lamborghinis by 2020. Now, with the whole COVID fraud era, this wasn't the first time mass fraud had happened, but since I was born in the 90s, it was the first one that myself and people born in the 2000s.
That PPP loan wasn't no joke. I wish I was a little, if I was a little older, I think God blessed me by putting me the age that I am, because I definitely would partake.
Ever seen. By 2020, I was successfully flunked out of college, but I was still living in a college town at the time. And I remember running into this kid I knew from my fraternity that was a bit younger than me. He pulled up on me with a huge grin on his face and said, "I just got $11,000. I can take care of my whole family now." And I was so broke at the time, I was like, "Damn, bro, you came up." Obviously, thinking about it now, that was the dumbest shit I had ever heard.
Yeah.
After getting conned by college girls into buying them drugs and alcohol every time they went to a party, that 11,000 was gone pretty quick, as you can imagine. And being from Chicago, I remember the huge card cracking ring that was rampant in the city until the mid-2010s when the feds came in and a guy near the top of the operation cooperated against everyone else.
All you in there that's been in there for this card cracking shit.
Chicago rapper King Louis trolling people on the case in 2014.
And y'all back out. Don't call me and talk to me like we got. Don't talk to me. You niggas scare me.
But essentially, what this was, it was just bank fraud. And you were either in one of two categories. At the top were the paper men. The guys that had...
That's crazy, bro. You can become a felon just trying to look for an easy come up. Now you a felon because you didn't want to get it the right way. Boy.
The bank documents needed for the fraud to take
place.
And if you wanted to scam, but you couldn't produce these papers yourself, then the only way you could get in was by paying whatever extortionate price the paperman was charging for these documents. And this went on for some time. And as a result, it wasn't uncommon to see high school kids in the early 2010s pulling up to school in brand new BMWs, and I personally used to watch people walk in currency exchanges and come out with big stacks of 50s. And this contributed to the decline in the culture of drug trafficking on the south side of Chicago, at least compared to the 80s and 90s. Because if you were a teenage criminal, all of a sudden, you could just make $5,000 a year without selling anything. And as a 16-year-old, yeah, it seemed like a very lucrative opportunity.
Man, you know what I could have did with $5,000 at the age of 16? I probably would have fucked it off. If I didn't mess it up, like fuck it off, I definitely would have bought a car, like a Trapper off Facebook Marketplace. Cause when you got a car in high school, ooh, everything easy. All the women want you, all the extra stuff. They come easy, and it's like you can move how you want to move. But if I had 5 bands in high school, I don't know what I'd do with myself, bro.
And people back then would even convince their family members to cash fake checks, because the majority of the time, you could just withdraw the money and tell your bank that you didn't know the check was fake. And surprisingly, that would work. But by the time COVID happened, bank fraud was still a thing, but it became a bit less common. And I'll never forget that once the SBA loan dropped, I would get on Instagram, and all of a sudden, everybody was on live eating lobster, they on vacation, luxury vacations, counting big stuff.
This people problem, bro. See, me, if I come up on a large sum of money, yes, I'm going to treat myself, but for the most part, I'm going to stash a lot of it, and then I'm going to maybe invest some of it, but it's like, for the most part, I'm stashing a lot of that money, bro. A lot of people just blew it, so now they in the same position that they was in before. And can you really blame them just because of the simple fact? It's like, okay, if you work for something, you're going to appreciate it way much more than somebody that's just given to them. If it's just given to them, then it's like they're not gonna really appreciate it or understand how hard it was to get there. So it's gonna fuck it off. And guess what? They back at ground zero.
The money. And when I came back to the city, I see people riding 3-wheelers through the hood and what looked like 8th graders in convertibles. Now I'll admit, the temptation was there. I was a 20-something, working a retail job, living paycheck to paycheck.
Hey man, I would have did it, bro. I would have did it. I was like 16, 17.
Was a dumbass that flunked out of college, and everywhere I looked, somebody got $10,000 coming in every week. And that's when the PPP hit.
Boy, I done got my PPP loan. My whole life done changed. I'm out here in Florida.
Where people were all of a sudden getting $20,000 at a time. And the really greedy people were hitting for over 100,000 and even a million.
Oh
and
my
that's when the cutthroat
goodness.
behavior was at an all-time high. So of course, many people wanted to get in on this fraud that was clearly not free money, but a lot of people didn't know how to do it. And that's when you had the sneaky people come in who knew how to apply for the
Hey man, nine times out of 10, if you trusting a scammer to get you some money to admit it, the scammer is scamming you. You are the victim. The bank is not the victim. The store is not the victim. Whatever y'all trying to scam is not the victim. You're the victim. Just because of the simple fact they're using your information. Like, I don't understand. This one thing I don't understand. I don't understand why people, when the what's that called? With the bank stuff, like with you bank with Chase, you bank with them, BMO, you bank with whatever, Wells Fargo. All they did was just open up an account and just maximize. You know what I'm saying? They just open up a loan account and just maxed it out. So now you got to pay that back. If you don't pay that back, one is going on your credit history, and two, I mean, it's all tied into the credit history, bro. You gonna burn yourself from the bank, and then your credit history gonna be fucked. Cause that's on your permanent record. You getting that money, you think you ain't gotta pay it back? Idiot, bro. Oh, my bad. Hold on. I keep doing stuff.
They would offer to do an application for you if you pay a fee. And some guys would commit identity theft to do your application in someone else's name, and some would just do it in your name with your permission. Now, both are really bad. But either way, the guy doing the application would get paid without having to put himself at risk at all, because none of it was in his name. But they would act like they were doing you a favor. But of course, that's on you if you was greedy enough to agree to that.
Exactly.
And I remember at this time,
Then you
I
had to pay the niggas. Hold on. Quick second. Told y'all, quick second. I just had to grab me a Celsius, bro. Get a little energy boost. I love me a good Celsius.
that offered to do a PPP loan in my name. Oh, thank you. How generous of you to offer my name in
Yeah,
federal
bro.
fraud. This guy was clearly not my friend, because for a fee, he had no problem offering something that could get me in trouble. So of course I declined, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, bro. I'm glad I had a sensible mother in my ear telling me not to do it and putting me on game. Like, bro, I feel sad for people that actually feel for stuff like this, honestly, bro.
Over the scamdemic. But greed was at an all-time high. I mean, people were abandoning all logic, buying not one, but multiple houses and luxury cars with money obtained through fraud. And I watched people do it comfortably because, in their mind, since no one had been immediately arrested, it must be free money then, right? People was getting robbed because they didn't know that once you did some of these loans, your name and the address you entered would appear on a public database, which people would find and wait outside for you in the bushes. And every single person I saw get a loan, that money was gone before 2021. I still don't know who the first person was to do it and spread the news. But this
Yeah, bro. Whoever did it, they are a genius. Whoever did it and spread it spread it is not a word, but whoever did it and got other people to do it, you are a genius. But the people that's falling for it, y'all are idiots, bro. It's just a life lesson.
huge implications, as according to studies done on the areas flagged with the highest number of PPP loans, and Dr. Samuel Kruger at the University of Texas at Austin, home prices in these areas actually went up due to all the people buying homes with fraud money. And even wealthy people like Khloe Kardashian and Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump's husband, received millions of dollars from PPP loans.
Really? So they the reason why the housing market looking the way it look. Y'all fucking us over as a society, bro. When I was trying to buy this house that I'm in right now, ain't no way this should have cost like $80,000, bro. And they want like $250,000 for a 3-bedroom townhouse these days. Come on, man.
These loans for
Come on, man.
Tom Brady got nearly $1 million from it, which was also forgiven. Nancy Pelosi's husband got over $1 million forgiven. And there were many other wealthy people who received loans that probably didn't need it, despite the fact that they did own a business. But it was getting ridiculous because even the news started pulling up to people's houses, questioning them about the loan. And man, it just wasn't worth it. One thing my dad taught me about the federal government is that they have two things we don't: time and money. When you evade taxes, the feds are willing to wait a decade for you to keep digging a hole before they come and get you. I watched a man run up $10,000 in unpaid child support out of state, but realizing he was on a timer, he hurried up and got on a payment plan. And when all of this was going on, I just knew it wouldn't last, and eventually people would start getting caught. Because, I mean, it goes without saying.
Imagine doing time because a woman that you hit, y'all had a baby together, but for whatever reason y'all broke up, so you're not seeing eye to eye. Imagine going to jail because you didn't pay her child support. I get the concept of child support, but child support is corrupt as well, bro. That's crazy, bro.
Defraud the U.S. government is pretty stupid. Only the U.S. government can defraud the U.S. government. You can't do it. It's one thing to commit bank fraud, but you gonna play with the IRS? Man, I would never play with them people, bro. If it was that easy, then billionaires wouldn't have to suck up to politicians just to get a tax break. They spend money to have that privilege. And not to mention, there's no good scenario that came out of all of this. If you only got like 20 or 40,000, that might be enough to run, but not enough to run for the rest of your life. And the people that took millions just bought mansions in the United States, the country that's looking for you. If you crashed out like that and hit for $1 million, you should have been on the first flight to Moscow.
No bullshit. In a different country that's not allied with the United States. Because believe it or not, if you go to a country that's allied with the United States, all they got to do is say, hey, we want this person. Now you're wanted in that country because they're allied with the United States. Go somewhere like Russia. Oh, yeah, Moscow is in Russia. Hey, he no game, indeed.
You should have bought a house in Bali and settled down with a traditional Indonesian wife. You on the list, man. I can't tell you how many people took these checks and went to Miami Beach to rent slingshots and big-ass Airbnbs. Or went to LA, where $100,000 can be gone in a week or less. Then, when you get caught, you gotta plead guilty, because you can't afford no lawyer, and you better not try to fight a Fed case with a public defender. Or maybe you should, because a paid lawyer will say anything to get your money. Meanwhile, a real public defender will tell you the truth. Like, hey man, they got you on camera in Miami, bro. You was popping bottles, flying people out. You took 3 flights in 2 weeks. They scanned your ID at all the airports. If you don't plead guilty, they gonna give your ass the max. And we ain't gonna see you till the iPhone 25 come out. The realest thing a public defender ever told me was, you did it. Just plead guilty. Don't piss the judge off. And who am I to argue with him? He see the judge every day. He watched the man slam that hammer so many times to make people pass out in the courtroom. He know what he talking about. There was a dude in Georgia that hit for $13 million and
13 million and got 15 years. Oh my goodness, was the money worth it? And I'd rather do what I'm doing right now, grind for these little pennies and nickels and make them stack to hundreds and thousands, bro. Then do 15 years over $13 million, bro. The money not worth it at that point.
Damn near 15 years. And he only got to run around with all this money for a year before he got caught in 2022.
That ain't worth it, bro.
They made him sit until 2026 when they finally sentenced him. Ain't nobody gonna see this man until 2040. That wasn't even worth a house and 2 cars, bro. He pled not guilty and tried to fight it, knowing that he bought a Lamborghini Aventador. Like, man. And it was a 2014. Bro, you might as well bought a Chevy Trax. You crashed out for nothing. Like pretty much everybody that committed fraud to obtain these loans.
Basically.
Just hearing people at the time try to explain how you can do it and how it was so easy to just lie on this application. Like, man, you think the federal government ain't gonna never catch on to this, bro? Are you crazy? People was thinking, oh man, it's just $20,000. They ain't even gonna notice it. Bro, if 500,000 of y'all hit for $20,000, they're gonna notice. Not to mention, any deposit you get over $10,000 gets flagged by the feds anyway. This is the IRS's job, bro. They don't do much else. This is money. Their job is money. And yeah, that's all. But I do have some longer videos coming, guys, I promise. I just haven't made them yet because I like to be able to drop frequently so you guys have something to watch.
I ain't gonna lie, I like these short videos you do, my boy. Honestly, I love the short videos, you know what I'm saying? Get straight to the point, get the little wham, wham, boom, boom. Straight like that, bro. I like these short videos. So let me know what y'all think. Honestly, though, if I'm not mistaken, I think Detroit, the PPP, all these... Bro, Detroit is the city of scams. I think the PPP loan probably originated in Detroit. I don't know about the bank stuff, but Detroit has. We gonna sit here and blame Detroit. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna blame Detroit. Y'all did this to us, but no. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Let me catch you niggas in the next one. Yes, sir.